posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen.
What's up, everybody? This is Jay Hill with the Sweatshop Studioz, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time at the content, please do a brother a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. I promise to bring you content that you will appreciate. So we're going to dive right into it today. Today I got a mix that I did for one of my clients that I just kind of want to talk through rap vocal chain for more modern style music, for that melodic Afro beats or Afrocentric vibe music that's kind of hot today. I just kind of want to talk through my vocal chain and just share a little bit of some sauce in some of my mixing decisions. If you find value in the content, please do a brother a favor, hit that like and subscribe. In the comments, tell me what you gained from it, or what you would like to know a little bit more about, and I will try to accommodate the best I can. So let's get right into it.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to cut, control who? You should mow who? Mow you. Kneel do the way that you're thinking, upgrade your software. A thief in the night, I move like Yahweh. I'm running this shit like Shikare. A track race.
Okay, so you kind of get the vibe, right? It's nice and present. It has some wet effects on it, and it takes center stage of the mix. And that's exactly what I want to do with that vocal, because her verse was very intimate. And so I wanted to recreate that in my mixing decision. Let's go right into it. So
ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen.
Sounds pretty clean, but I did a lot of editing that is going to take place in another video. If we go down here towards some of these other parts, maybe you can hear a little of that room noise.
I'm running this shit like Shikare, a track race.
Did you hear that? At the track race?
Track race.
See that? Just a little bit. And that builds up as you add plugins onto your vocal chain. And so it just doesn't come out as clean as you would like it or what it can be. So what I like to do is try to get rid of as much of that as possible that makes it still sound natural. You don't want it to sound unnatural. Now you make the decisions as they sound good in context of the mix. Getting back to the vocal chain, some people start with EQ, some people start with compression. My mixing decision for this particular vocal is I started with compression. Now, the reason why I started with compression first is because the vocal is recorded very low. I needed some gain on it. And I didn't want to just put a gain plugin and push it up, because it was pushing up that floor noise too. I didn't want to do that and then start processing. So what I wanted to do was just take care of the peaks of the actual vocal first to get that more controlled, and then I'll try to eliminate some of those problems. That's just my mixing decision. Some people do it differently, but you hear my results. That's all I got to say. So, all right, I'm just using the Logic stock compressor here. Not really doing a lot, just taking care of peaks. So let me just play it with the compressor.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no.
Without the compressor?
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I
With
am
the
me
compressor?
every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins instead of trying to cut.
Okay. Here's the thing. I'm not giving it that much gain. If you really look where my settings, I'm really only pushing the threshold to -10 dB. Now it's a 5:4 ratio, so it's heavy on the ratio because I'm squashing it, because I'm trying to control those peaks. And then I have a fast attack and a fast release. Just want to smack those peaks down, right? And with the stock plugin, sometimes you can turn the auto gain off. I just put it at 0 for here because I needed some gain on there, so I went ahead and let this plugin kind of normalize the vocal a bit. And then here's the secret to everything is making sure your input into this compressor is a strong signal, because then that's when the compressor actually starts working. You don't have to push the threshold as hard, which you don't get as much pumping or any unwanted characteristics from your compressor into whatever signal you're processing. So the key is hit that input gain, bring that input in. So I pushed about 5 dB of input into this compressor before it did anything, because of where this vocal was sitting at dry recording. Make sense? So again, before,
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I
and then after.
ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God,
And all I'm looking for is for it to hit around -6 dB. That's where ideally I want my vocal sitting, because that is where I have my instruments tracked. I try to mix to -6 dB. So next I am using Infinity EQ, and this is basically some subtractive EQ. I'm scooping out unwanted frequencies. So on this vocal, I wrote off these lows here right around, where is this at? 80? Yeah. Well, okay, that's around 110. And then I ducked a little bit more in this low end range of the vocal. So right around 190. And then duck some more right around 2K. Let's hear before and after.
ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no.
All right, and after.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen.
So as you can hear, yeah, it lost a lot of that mud and that all in your face, like that you don't want to hear their breath. You just want to hear their performance, right? So again, before, and I'm gonna
Ain't no
show you right in the middle.
molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win.
And you can hear the top end of that vocal just come out a little bit more by just taking out all of that mud. So that's what I like to do with Infinity EQ. I like to really use that for scooping and shaping. It's really good for that. I really like what it does. So next, I have this RVox, another piece of compression on top of this vocal, and basically scooped out some of that unwanted stuff. I want to bring back some of that consistency, give some more of that power back to the vocal. So that's why I want to hit it with this RVox. It's really good at just giving vocals some just glue to itself. It just gives it a good characteristic, and I like it. So pushed it down to -9.2 dB, lowered the gain to -4.3, and got this gate pretty high just to make sure that we scoop out all of that unwanted background stuff. So, all right. So before.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no.
And with the compressor.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma.
Again, just giving it some more presence, giving it some more power. So that's what that was for. And then if you notice, again, always, you got to keep your eye on the dB levels, right? So I didn't want to add more power by adding more volume. I just wanted to add more signal, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm using the compressor for.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma.
It is louder, it's perceived louder, but my signal did not really change that much. In most parts, it's actually giving me a lower input level with a louder sound. That's what the power of compression does, because you're able to get more out of your signal when you give it, some tightness to it. So that is the way I was processing this vocal. So now you're seeing that, okay, the first problem I had in this mix was that this vocal was weak as hell. So I got to bring it up. All right. So first thing I got to do, slam it with the compressor. Not slam, but hit it with the compressor. Just to, give it a little more presence. Then now take out all your unwanted stuff and then give it some more presence. All right. So now we got a good vocal. Next, now that I had that, so this is something I do. I don't mind sharing it because I don't do this on every vocal, but this is one of my little sauces. So let's see if you can keep up. Went ahead and put a little space designer on this lead. Now, granted, I made this choice because the fact that I don't have a lot of vocals to work with, so I can go a little further on this one vocal. So I went ahead and threw Space Designer on it and just put a very little bit of touch of wetness on it, just to give it a little something. And that's it. It's really just the default, but I just want to give it just a little bit of space to the vocal, as if they recorded this in a room. Okay, that was what I was going for, because I'm looking for intimacy, mixing decisions. That is the way to do this music. All right, you find some value in what I'm saying, help a brother out, hit that subscribe, hit that like, share in the comments what you think. All right, so here's the vocal without the reverb.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma.
Okay, and with the reverb.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma.
Now you might think like, I didn't really hear much, but it's subtle. You don't need a lot. Just want to bring that forward a little bit. Just add some human element to it. I don't want it to sound robotic. I want it to sound like it was done somewhere. All right. Again, on this lead vocal, I did one other thing. Used a touch, very, 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 very small touch. The short delay. And both of these are stock plugins in Logic. The only two plugins that are not stock plugins that I'm using on this lead vocal is Infinity EQ, which is part of the Slate Digital Suite, and then RVox is part of Waves. All right, this is just what I do. I do use a lot of the stock stuff. I mean, Logic has a lot of good stock plugins built in, and some of those is a little easier on the processing too. So kill two birds with one stone. It's just nice to have some plugins in your back pocket, some tools. But don't go crazy. Learn the tools you have. That's my best advice to you. It ain't just do what I do or what anybody else does or what you see. If it sounds good, obviously you want to stay on top of what the sound is if you're competitive on your mixing. But if you're just trying to figure it out, don't go buy a bunch of plugins just because you see other people use them. Learn the concepts of why they're using those plugins, and then find out what your stock plugins is, and then mimic that. All right, so what I'm using is this short delay in Logic, and very, very, very simple settings here. Got the left side at a quarter, got the right side at an eighth, and as far as output level of the mix, again, because this is on the actual track, don't need a lot of wet. So I got 5% to the left, 8% to the right. Demonstration before.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma.
And then here it is afterwards.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen.
Okay, so you definitely heard that. It's solo, but in the mix, it sounds a little different. So that is my channel change. Now that you heard that, let's hear what we got in the concept of the mix.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen.
Big difference from this.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of
As you can see, just to get it from there to there, I really didn't do much. It was just a touch of this here, take away a little bit of that, a touch a little bit there. So compression, take away, compression, and then I just add a little bit of reverb, little bit of delay, and then that was there. The vocal still doesn't sound polished to me. It just sounds ready. That's my process, right? Okay, so now that lead vocal's there, I bust together this under and that lead vocal. So now that I grouped both of those vocals together for a lead, I am using Smart EQ4 by Sonable. I'm using this to be creative. And that is my mixing process when I'm processing vocals is if I'm processing the vocal on a channel level, that's really to just address problems and get it to a level where I like it, while still retaining much of the characteristics of an original recording. Now, once I get to the bus level, I am trying to enhance, I'm trying to be creative, I'm trying to color, I'm trying to, give some depth, warmth, and all these other nice, pleasing characteristics to the vocal. And basically, this curve is scooping out a little bit more of the lows and low mids, getting rid of some mud, and then boosting right around the 2K area. It's more like the 1500. 2K is about right here. So right around 1500 is giving it a nice little shelf. Let's play it through and let's see what the analyzer tells us.
ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen.
Now, I don't know if you heard that, but it sounded so much more just clean, polished. Just that. Just clean and polished. Again, I'm going to A-B it back and forth and tell me what you think.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to control who, you should mow who, mow you. Nail through the way that you're thinking up for yourself. Well, a thief in the night, I move like Yahweh.
Yeah, it just pushed it forward just a little bit more. Small moves go a long way in mixing. Next, I have the Elosis de-esser. Because I did some boosting, I want to do some controlling. So I just pushed the dry signal up a little bit, a little bit more wetness, and then pull back on the amount. So let's hear how that sound, AB.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win.
Now, what this is really catching, actually, is the harshness. Chosen, posing. Let's hear it again, AB.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm.
That every day, da. It really caught that.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. directed by
just
God.
smooth that every day. Just smooth that out. Don't need a lot. Just little subtle moves go a long way. Next up, I am using a Smart Compressor by Sonable. So let's hear it, AB.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to control who, you should mow you. Nail through the way that you're thinking, I put yourself where. A thief in the night, I move like Yahweh. I'm running this shit like Shikare, a track race.
I know you heard that. The vocal just got in your face. It was just like I'm listening to my VSX headphones, and it just sounded like she went from something I was listening to somebody who was talking to me. Let's hear it again.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to control who, you should mow you. Nail through the way that you're thinking, I put yourself where.
I really like this compressor because it gives you a visualization of what it's doing. So, here's your threshold, here's your ratio. So it's kind of showing you what it's doing to the signal. I really like this compressor. Next I have is MoTT. MoTT, another Slate Digital suite product. What this is a multi-band compressor, so we can kind of shape the vocal to whatever we want it to sound like. Here's pretty much your wet dry signal. So I got it at about 40%, and let's play it before and after.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to control who, you should mow you.
Much more presence, just giving it a little bit more evenness to the vocal. It got a little bit more brighter. That was one of the things. And main thing is I just wanted to just give it a little bit more polish. That's what I was really going for. All right, let's move on. We're almost there. Next, I hit it with some saturation. Saturation is always secret sauce in a mix, especially on the vocal, because it gives it something to stand out from the instrumentation. All right, let's A/B that.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins.
Oh my God, it just brings it forward a little bit more, making it a little more real, make it a little bit more like they're in the room with you in the context of the mix, right? So real simple, saturation. I ain't go into more details than that. You kind of hear that. Next up is a nice little free plugin that does so much magic. Fresh Air, Slate Digital. Let me A/B it.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to control who, you should mow you. Nail through the way that you're thinking, I put yourself where. A thief in the night, I move like Yahweh. I'm running this shit like Shikare, a track race.
I think you heard that. You heard that. It's just, oh my God, it just brung the top. It just opened that vocal totally up, So that's what Fresh Air does. Don't push it too hard unless you got something really dark, but it's really nice just to add a little something over the top. Now, behind that is anytime I boost highs, I come back with a de-esser just to make sure I got the control of that, because you want that high end nowadays, especially with modern music, but you don't want to hurt nobody's ears. You don't want nobody to get tired of hearing it or just only want to hear that one time and never want to hear it again. So again, I just kind of went with the same settings as the previous DS, so just a little bit more on the amount. So again, AB.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win.
And again, it was just doing the same job as earlier in the chain. Just wanted to control those top transients of those particular plosives. Chosen, day now, those things, smoothing those back into the vocal so it just doesn't stand out to the listener. It just sounds in context. All right. And then finally, at the end of that chain, I have this verb suite. It's also part of the Slate Digital All Access Pass. Out the box, this reverb sounds great. It's really just a default. I just played around with the decay until I found the one that I liked in the context of the mix. And then just dialed back the dry, wet signal into just season it to taste. So let's hear before and after.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to cut, control who? You should mow who? Mow you. Meal do the way that you're thinking, upgrade your software. A thief in the night, I move like Yahweh. I'm running the shit like Shikare. A track race.
So it just brings the vocal forward a little bit more, just giving it context. Now, some of you might not, depending on your listening environment, if you're hearing it on your studio monitors or your headphones like me, or, if you're on your camera phone, you might hear some of these changes. And a lot of these changes are very subtle, but they make a hell of a difference.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to cut, control who? You should mow who? Mow you.
Yeah, see, it just gives it a little bit more color, a little bit more depth. It's just a little bit more wet. That's just basically what it's doing. I ain't needed to do much. Just needed to just do a little bit more. All right. So now in the context of the mix, this is what we got.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins instead of trying to cut.
Yeah, and that's really it for my the actual processing. And the last things I did before finalizing this vocal is just added some extra reverb and delay via some sins. You can see I have 3 buses here, bus 1, 2, and 3. I'm sorry, 1, 4, and 3. In bus 1, 4, and 3, we have this plate style reverb, and I'm using Lustrous plates. It's also part of the Slate Digital All Access Pass. And then we have the second reverb. This is what I call my lush reverb, where just giving it a little bit more air and signal. Then I have, this is my warm verb, so it just gives it a little bit more warmth to the vocal. I'm using another instance of Reverb Classic. I'm going to solo out the beat, and so you can hear what warmth does to this vocal.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to cut, control who? You should mow who? Mow you. Meal do the way that you're thinking, upgrade your software.
That's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma.
I don't need to play it even any more than that. You heard it. Yeah, it just took up all of that space. Now it's just all about me, all about me. This vocal. That's what this is about. That's what mixing is about. You're shaping the song for an experience. And that is the approach that I have for this mix. So now that that warmth is there, it's just all about me and this vocal. It's my time to shine. Let's see what this lush verb do. I'm just shaping out the high mids and some of the highs. And then I had the stereo imager behind it. And when it's enabled, it sounds like this.
Ain't no molding,
Without?
not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma,
Without?
I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to cut, control who? You should
With
mow
it.
who? Mow you. Mildew the way that you're thinking, upgrade your software. A thief in the...
It's just a little bit of more subtlety that brings it forward here in the context of the mix now.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma.
Oh, that vocal's almost there. But then last but not least, I do have this plate that was added to it. Without?
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to cut, control who? You should mow who?
Without?
Mow you. Mildew the way that you're thinking, upgrade your software. A thief in the
With
night,
it.
I move like Yahweh. I'm running this shit like Shikare. A track race.
Yeah. It put them in a bathroom or some type of room, somewhere they're performing this, right? And so when you hear it in the context of the mix, this is what it sounds like.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to cut, control who? You should mow who? Mow you. Mildew the way that you're thinking, upgrade your software. A thief in the night, I move like Yahweh.
And that's it. That's the rundown of how I processed that vocal.
Ain't no molding, not conforming. I am me every day, no posing. Directed by God, I'm chosen. Cleansing up my karma, I win. Excuse me while I cleanse up my sins. Instead of trying to cut, control who? You should mow who? Mow you. Mildew the way that you're thinking, upgrade your software. A thief in the night, I move like Yahweh. I'm running this shit like Shikare. A track race.
If this is your first time at the content, please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, that notification bell. Drop me a comment, show me some love, bring somebody else to the party. If you found any value in this content, help a brother out. I'm trying to grow this channel, I'm trying to spread the word, and I want us to make dope music. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.